I'm back. So let's talk about the case out of New York, the election interference case out of New York. It is not a hush money case. It is hush money was paid. Don't get it twisted. Hush money was paid to Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels. But this case is about election interference, and we must address it as such. We must call it as such, because the reason behind those hush money payments was to manipulate an election. It really just boils down to, if you take Michael Cohen out of it, you take Stormy Daniels out of it, you take Karen McDougal out of it, it's down to David Pecker in 45, and the goal was to get 45 elected. David Pecker agreed to capture stories, meaning pay people for their stories so they could not go to another media outlet to sell their stories, and then bury it until the election was over. And the reason why this was so important, if you remember, the Access Hollywood tape had just come out. So the thinking was, I believe it goes beyond 45. I believe the entire Republican Party, or the Heritage Foundation, or whomever was pushing so hard to get him in office, the thinking was, we just had this Access Hollywood tape where he's talking about going around grabbing people by the pee, and then this other information could potentially come out about Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels, and then we'll lose the evangelicals. Now, you're probably saying, well, in 2016, we had different evangelicals than these folks walking around here right now. I don't know who these people are. I don't know their God, and their God does not know me. So in 2016, it was critical to hide that information to try to push his ass into office. And let's all remember, he only won through the Electoral College, which is why I think we should get rid of the Electoral College. One person, one vote, period. That's where we should be. And that's a whole other conversation. But right now, what I want you to remember, when these court proceedings resume in New York, address it as an election interference case, because you have a whole bunch of people that colluded and got together and conspired to bury information to get one candidate into office. And that was a manipulation, because the American people did not have all the information. Election interference trial. That's what it is. Address it as such.